Welcome to RV Talk Radio. Here we talk about RV living, RV lifestyles, and RV travel. We also celebrate the RV lifestyle that gives us the chance to do outdoor activities that we couldn't do in a normal lifestyle. So thanks for joining us. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and let's talk about RVs. Hello everyone, this is Rob Scribner from RV Talk Radio. This is episode 66, can you believe it? And we've got all kinds of interesting things going on. I want to talk about some of the feedback we've been getting on our last videos about rattlesnakes and our pets, and also tell you about what's going on. Well, anyway, hang on. Well, it's definitely been pretty clear that we woke up a few folks about coming down here, especially the snowbirds with pets, and getting used to knowing what kind of critters we have down here. So our show last week about the rattlesnakes and our video both got lots of feedback, lots of traffic, and we appreciate that, and we hope we were helpful to you. So one other thing that was kind of exciting is I did stop by the veterinarian clinic over here at Palisade Veterinary Hospital, and they're here in Fountain Hills. And I asked them if they'd actually do a complete explanation of what the vaccine does, the rattlesnake vaccine for dogs, what exactly it does and how it helps our dogs, and how to get the shots and the general cost and things like that, and also follow up. So they agreed next week. I have an interview with them. I'm going to do it on video, and I'll try to convert the audio if possible, but we'll see how it goes. The other thing I wanted to bring up is they also said down here in the South is another thing you want to make sure that you're treating your pet with, and I think it's going to be your dog and cat, is for heartworm. And I understand that's kind of a important thing to have done when you're down south. And if you're going to the dog parks and stuff like that, that's highly something you should do. And of course, we've done it for Cinder. Not too expensive. What's nice about it is just a edible kind of thing, oral tablet that she takes, and no big deal. But that's a really I've done a little research on that, and that's just nasty what it does to your pets. So, along with the rattlesnake vaccines, tripping over the tongue today, and the heartworm treatment, I highly recommend that both of those be done if you're going to southern states. So I hope that's helpful to you. I know you've heard a lot about it. Really means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to you if you have a pet. And our pets are our family. Our kids are probably all grown up and going, and our pets have kind of become our new kids. And, I know some of this is expensive. Maybe you can find a way to spread it out between, especially if you have more than one pet. But, man, if you can get it done, get her done. The other thing I've kind of learned about the rattlesnake vaccine is it's expensive. It's like $600 or $700 a bottle. And depending, and this is just some research I'm doing. I'm still going to wait till we talk to the vet. But if a pet is bit multiple times, they may need more than one bottle of vaccine. Now, the thing is, my understanding so far is if you get the vaccine for your pets and they get bit, it may not be needed if they're treated. They'll definitely probably have to have antibiotics, but they may not need the anti-venom medication if they're bit. So I'm not sure about that. We'll find more about that next week. But just expensive. So yeah, some of this preventative stuff will be worth it. So special thanks to all the people that gave us feedback from both of those shows, the RV Talk Radio show and RV Travel Buddy. Great comments. There was a person, I think it was RV Lady, she mentioned that if a snake is in their molting season, since they're kind of helpless, they're more eager to strike. And so that's also something that you need to pay attention to. So, man, it's just, you just got to be vigilant, like I said. So let's keep that in mind. Be vigilant. Hope you can get down here in the South. Take care of your pets. And let's move on. Well, I've determined I'm a glutton for punishment because we launched something new. And it's kind of new. It's different. And if you remember in the past, we were trying our hand at creating a radio station. And the first one was called Outdoor Travel Radio. And we found that to be a little nichey because we wanted to be more broad and also like a younger audience and stuff. And they didn't want it to be totally travel oriented. So we are trying it again. So the new radio show, which now we've changed, that is sponsoring this show too, is called goodmusicradio.com. It's called goodmusicradio.com. And what it is an internet radio station. We have our music license, and it's a streaming radio show with very little talk, actually. It does have commercials here and there, but not very much. But actually, we're keeping the talking down, less long shows. There will be a 1 hour show of put on at 7 o'clock each evening. It's not done yet. That will have the old-fashioned radio shows. My wife and I just love those, and we found other people like those too. That if you decide to go walking or take your dog for a walk or something, we have these 2 half-hour shows. I think one's Gunsmoke and the other one is Sherlock Holmes, and they'll be playing at 7 o'clock Pacific time, or Arizona time actually, every day on a weekday. And it hasn't been set up yet, but we'll definitely, if you we have the new Facebook page for Good Music Radio. So yeah, you can go to the site there. They have their own web page now. And we're working on a YouTube channel for just special events and stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of neat. Really good music. Music is from past and present. Specified music that was greatest hits. And some really good greatest hits, easy listening. Now, in the evenings when you go to bed and you want to play this radio, it tones down a smidgen to easy listening and light rock. And so it's not too noisy for sleeping time, but it's just one of those foot tapping kind of radio stations. And the thing is I guarantee you that this is one of those radio stations when you listen to it, you're going to say constantly, oh man, I remember that song. That's a good one. And that's what the Good Music Radio is all about. So if you get a chance, go check it out. It's all up and running. You can download it on your cell phone. If you go to the website, you'll see it says download mobile app. Press that little button, puts a little mobile app on your cell phone. You're set to go. Put on your headset. You can plug it into your the new cars now have where you can plug in digital. And it's high quality stereo. So check it out. Once again, it's called Good Music Radio. As I was mentioning to you last week, is Sherry and I will be actually going up to Page, Arizona, up by Lake Powell again, and we're going to spend 4 days up there. So we're hoping to do some great recording up there and enjoy the area a little bit. But the other thing is we're going to bring the boat back. So we're going to actually take the trailer up there, the boat trailer. And on the 4th day, we're going to load the boat on the trailer, which ought to be interesting. We'll try to get some video of that. And we got to haul it, 300 miles basically from Page to here, where we have a place to store it. And while we have it down here, we're going to add some equipment to it. We want to get some a fish finder put on, make a modification in the living area for a table, and just some little tweaks that we want to do, maybe change oils and things like that. And Todd, which I've mentioned to you before, is going to assist me in some of that stuff. And then I was thinking about putting the boat over in Lake Pleasant for at least maybe a month or two, so we can enjoy it during the winter months, because it's kind of not like winter here. It's 70s, 80s sometimes. There's a couple cold days in December, but not it's the kind of cold that you think 50s cold around here. So anyway, so that's kind of what we're up to with that. The other thing we're kind of brainstorming about, and I'd love to hear your feedback, but We're thinking here at the RV park that we're at has a great little kind of conference area, and we're thinking about doing what's called an RV roundtable. And what we're going to do is get volunteers of the people in the RV park who'd like to be recorded. And we're going to use video, but we'll have audio too. And we're going to give people the opportunity to talk about certain questions that we give to them, and we want to hear different ways that people answer it. So it's so easy to get kind of caught up in thinking RVing is this a certain way, but it's amazing when I meet people that it's not the way you think. So I think an RV roundtable would be, one is great video, two is some great audio too to put on the show, to share opinions and ideas from people all over the country. So be looking for that. It'd be RV roundtable. I don't know what we're going to call as a title, but it'll be like RV Roundtable Seminars or something, and try to do a couple of those. And what I'd love to have from you, the listener, is down below in the comments to shoot us some ideas of questions you think would be really good to ask a broad spectrum of people. And it won't matter if they have fifth wheels, trailers, motorhomes, we don't care. It's all about the RV lifestyle and RV living and how they're doing it, and some of their observations in different areas that may be different than, say, over here in the Northwest. So anyway, I look forward to that. It'll be RV roundtable discussions. So now that brings me to a new little section of the show I'm going to call What Are You Waiting For? So, with all of our shows, one of our main themes or sayings or little jingles is, what are you waiting for? And so I kind of want to talk about that a little bit, because I always meet so many people who are like thinking about buying an RV, thinking about retiring, thinking about traveling a while, trying to figure out how to make it work. And the true answer to a lot of folks, especially if you've gone through a life, and I understand this life of doing our 9 to 5s, and we're trying to get to our 55 or 65 realm to call it quits and try to retire. And so one of the first things I can definitely tell you is, if you're waiting to retire for that right time because you want to make a little bit more money from your pension or whatever, for those that still have it, the answer to that is it's never going to be enough. So you can go another year, and then you'll talk yourself into going another year. And then it just goes on. And I'm telling you, I've seen this over and over and over again. It's never enough money. And so the answer to that, though, is it is enough money. So there's just so many things you don't comprehend once you get free of those chains, that ball and chain of working 9 to 5. Now, yes, we're last of the baby boomers here, and some of us don't have the pensions anymore, or hopefully by now that a lot of folks have at least set up some kind of 401k or retirement fund. And you probably keep saying, well, I like it to be more or whatever, and or I can retire, but I'll probably still have to do some side work. Fine, there's great ways to do that and still do the traveling. But the thing is, it comes down to it is, what are you waiting for? You keep waiting for something. And I have news for you. I don't know how many people I've met that are retired or just retired and started RVing, and I hear this over and over again is, quote unquote, I should have done this earlier. I should have started earlier. I don't know why I waited. I'm not making this stuff up. I hear it all the time. Now, the younger RVers, I don't hear that, and I kind of put an emphasis on that in the interview the other day. But really, what are you waiting for? And the reason we have that is because, one is, life is short, and some of us, including myself, have a hard time living for the now. I'm a visionary, so I'm constantly antsy about something new, always trying to reach out, or it could be better, or I get these visions of doing things, and I have a hard time sometimes just stopping, smelling the roses, and enjoy life for now. Enjoy right this minute. Be grateful for exactly this moment in time. Tough to do. So tough. I know this is, it's so easy to say this, and I know that you're out there and you're listening to our show and you're thinking about doing this. And I cannot emphasize enough that time's going to sneak up on you. Health is going to sneak up on you. Money, you can make the money work no matter how much you're making and fit into this RV lifestyle. It doesn't have to be a certain way. You don't have to have a brand new motorhome. You do not have to have a brand new fifth wheel and truck. You don't have to. You can have a great trailer now. The trailers are awesome. You can buy used at all different years, and the more handy you are, the more that you can get one that's a fixer-upper. But if you're not handy, there's a rig out there for you. And I'm telling you that once you get the bug, once you get out here and see what it's like out here in the United States, it's endless. There is not, that I'm aware of, a boring state out there. And depending on what your favorite things are, whether it's recreation or wineries or shopping or beaches or hiking or mountains, snow, no snow, desert, evergreen, the bayou, it just goes on and on. And whatever your interests are, whether you just want time where you can actually read a book, where you can actually work on something you enjoy doing. Maybe you just like to color. And I laugh about that because Sherry's starting to do coloring, which you laugh and you think, oh, that's but it really, for her, she's a very busy, analytical person. It calms her, and it's so neat to see her doing something like that. Whether maybe you're a kite flyer, that's something me and Sherry used to do. It's all out here, and you can find a way to make it work within your budget. But I'm telling you, people you can't replace the time. What time you're giving up right now, you're giving up time to a corporation or to something or a house or whatever, and you feel chained down. Like I said, do some experiments, get an RV, rent an RV, go out with some friends, do some test runs, and go to places you're not used to, and try to open your mind and see what it's like to be in these different areas and find out what the United States has to offer. Then maybe you want to look at Canada, maybe you want to go to Alaska, and you can go into Mexico on the Baja, do some caravanning. Oh Lord, it's endless, just totally endless. But the thing is, you'll hear us say over and over again, what are you waiting for? And you're going to keep hearing, oh, I can't because of this, I can't because of that. And you got to quit saying can't. And that's where I get into paradigms. You got to break that paradigm, do a paradigm shift, kind of jump over the wall of those barriers that always keep you from doing this, and say, and get over and keep asking that question, what am I waiting for? And get those barriers out of the way and give this a shot. And it may be a little different for everybody. You could be a snowbird. You still want to keep your house. You don't have to do this full time, but get out here. I don't know what to tell you, except get out here and meet these nice people. Not as strange people too, but generally it's a family all over these different RV parks that you go to. And you don't have to go to RV parks. Boondock if you want. If you really want some peace and quiet, no problem. Just make sure you get the right kind of rigs that can sustain that. It's all cool. And by the way, you don't have to give up your internet, or your gaming if you're into gaming, or if you're, especially if you're a musician and you want to get more into your bluegrass or playing more. Or maybe for me, I actually play a flute, an Indian flute that was given to me, and I'm trying to learn how to play that. And I've done a little bit of guitar, but those things that you've just been putting off in life, once again, what are you waiting for? So anyway, I want to have this little section in this show to talk about that subject right there. What are you waiting for? So Thanks for listening. Now that I got some of my waiting for preaching out of the way, I feel much better now. Now, guys, when you hear us talk about this, we understand everybody's stories are a little bit different, and their scenarios are different, families different, budgets are different, health is different. It just goes on and on. Anyway, if any of it helps you or motivates you, we hope that that's what we're trying to do. Just give you a little incentive to take that leap. And it's a leap. It's definitely a different lifestyle. But boy, I tell you, if you already have a trailer or RV, or at least try to do a little bit more extended timing of RVing. Try to do not just a weekend warrior thing. Take a whole week off and pretend that you're a full-time RVer and see if you like it. And then also kind of tell you what kind of RV you want if the one you got isn't what will do the trick. Anyway, and some of these RVs now are a lot nicer than some of the houses I owned in the old days. So, anyway, I hope you feel better, and I hope you can come out here. And which also reminds me of we kind of rejuvenated another channel that we have. If you enjoy talking about your mindset, if you enjoy spirituality a little bit, if you enjoy just kind of thinking about different ways of getting through life, or something to help you get through problems of the day, or problem solving, we have another show. It's called Paradigm Chimes, and sometimes we kind of let them leak over to our other channels, but we kind of keep them separated. But it's a show I do, and I'm trying to kind of rejuvenate it and get out a weekly video that talks about the primary basis of the show is paradigms, paradigm shifts, and law of attraction. And no, it's not a religion. It's just a frame of mind, and it goes well to enhance your religion if you are concerned about that. But anyway, it just helps you kind of line your spirit up a little bit to your dreams, to your goals, and the reality around us. Anyway, so if you get a chance, check them out. We just launched, this is the second week we've kind of rejuvenated. There's actually over 90 videos in there. And, our first 6 months of videos, we're kind of trying to find our mojo. And now we've kind of figured out where we want it. It's the show was actually very popular for a while, and then I kind of quit doing the shows because I didn't have a studio anymore. But I was like, you know what? It's like a heck with a studio. I can still record those things here in the RV. So it's like I like to get that fired up again. So we just launched 2 new shows. One is the one that came out this week, last week would have been one about relationships. Another one before that was people that put limits on ourselves, and how we apply paradigms and law of attraction to that. So, yeah, if you get a chance to check out those shows, pretty cool stuff. And then lots of videos came out lately from RV Travel Buddy, that we got some do-it-yourself or RV tips. I think one was dealing with black tanks, and also with washing your RV, and we'll try to get more of those done as we go. But yeah, I think we're going to have a couple of videos coming out about boating and Lake Powell. Try to get some different kind of photography that we've ever done before. And so, yeah, just lots of stuff going on. So busy. So anyway, I'm actually going to start probably doing some videos on a day in a life. It's just like, because you always see all these things like, oh yeah, we're traveling, we're doing this. And it's like, is that what they do all day? No. My days are actually kind of boring, I think. I think you'd find it interesting because it was like, like I'm sitting in the RV right now at my dining room table. I've got our podcast equipment out. I got mixers out here. I'm watching a scanner as I'm recording this show, and we're plugging in music and things like that. At the same time, I'm trying to get ready for making another show, and then I got Paradigm Chimes, and so we always got something going on. But it could be kind of boring to some people, but maybe interesting in others. Now it's a true statement that it always takes time to be better. So if you want to, when you're doing a blogging show like ours, you're kicking out a lot of videos, so you don't necessarily get to do the detailed kind of editing that you want to do. Where if we're only doing a video once a week or something, we'd really put quite a performance together. But a lot of times we'll get a series of stuff come out, and we'll have a bunch of footage to get through, and pump out 4 or 5 videos from a big mess of things, and trying to keep a schedule. And if you haven't figured out a schedule, of course, RV Talk Radio always comes out on Monday, and the video version of it does too. And then we try to do RV related videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Wednesday is when Paradigm Chimes does their show, that show. Now, if we launch a video on any other day than those, then they're kind of scenery kind of videos. And I like to make those, like we did some on hummingbirds the other day. Sometimes our 360 videos, if we don't do those all the time, but when we get one that's kind of cool, we launch those on a Friday. And for those that like the 360 videos. And so, so we kind of have, that's our schedule. Monday is always the radio. Tuesday, Thursday is always RV related. Wednesdays, Paradigm Chimes. Fridays could be 360 videos. Any of the other days, even on weekends, we may have some scenery stuff where we got really cool pictures of hummingbirds or wildlife or a storm coming through, clouds, sunsets, time lapse, those kinds that you see on the off days. So I don't know when I had time to work. So there's another thing for what are you waiting for is, guys, I don't know about you, but I found a way to be busy. So, and not to mention we got the new radio station. So now, we've been programming music, tweaking music, making commercials, doing promos, things like that. So, busy, good stuff. So that's what's going on. Well, I'm going to do it. I know I promise I'd never talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it in a general way, is this upcoming election. Now, I'm not going to talk the politics, but I got to tell you, it's the very first time that I've ever do not know what to do. And I know I'm going to hear, do this, do that, because I only have 2 choices. What if you don't like the 2 choices? That's the bad part. But, it's kind of funny is throughout the years I've watched all kinds of politics, and I'm not going to even do the name thing or anything. But it's kind of interesting as I've gotten older what my concerns are as opposed to, say, someone that's younger. And you've heard this, and I'm going to say it again, but it's all about the health care with me and Sherry. As far as making money, all that stuff, that's my responsibility. And Sherry's, we'll take care of that. But, and I talked about, retiring and trying to do this kind of lifestyle. And the big one that really puts a wrench in things is the health care for me and Sherry if you want to retire before 65. And so I know I've gotten comments of like, deal with it. I've actually got comments like that. Deal with it. That's healthcare. That's how it is. Well, that'd be like telling me I have to work 9 to 5 all my life and don't change. Deal with it. Well, that's not true. And if you don't like it, change it. And I have the same kind of thing about healthcare. So, when it comes to this election stuff, oh my gosh, it's pretty bad when you just like both candidates are going, how did we get here? I mean, obviously we're sending a message out, and to hopefully our leaders out there that we're really fed up. We're going to find somebody that's going to change everything. It may not be these 2, but I hope you get the message. But I know after elections, it could just go back to status quo. And, because what I've noticed with the health care, and that's the only thing I want to talk about, is, and I've heard them talk about it too, that it's kind of designed to get more people to be insured, which is definitely low income, which is good. That's great. But the problem is, it looks like the people that got hurt from it is the middle class, which is supposed to be the majority of people. And so they're dragging us down. That's all I can say is I feel like we're getting dragged down if we were supporting the Obamacare and so the quote I heard is they're sitting there going, well, people that have jobs and stuff, they have their employers to give them to get them insurance, and so it's a good deal. Yeah, but what if you are self-employed? What if you have your own business or a contract worker or retired at 55? It's like they just totally forget about those people. And the backbone of the United States is the businessman, which is typically a small business owners and stuff. And they can't necessarily bring in a group kind of insurance. So you end up fending for yourself. So they're self-employed and they've got to get this kind of insurance. And because they're supporting lower income folks, it's creating this deductible and premiums that are just out of control. I mean, we're talking about numbers that are significant. A house payment, that's what we're talking about. One heck of a great RV payment and beyond. And so, I don't know. So I know I'm talking about politics a little bit, but I don't want to say one side or the other. But I got to tell you, since I do talk to the public like this through our podcast, I never felt like I wish I could just, erase the chalkboard and say, can we start over with candidates, please? Because this is not working for me. So pros and cons on both sides. Obviously, I don't really want that much comments on this subject other than healthcare solutions. It's really neat for folks that can carry some VA insurance or have something from their companies that they retired from. But the case is I'm finding a lot of people just like me and Sherry confused. And guess what it's kind of pushing us to is doing research outside of the borders. Yes, pros and cons there. But really, I mean, I just hate the fact that I keep thinking about that and want to do more research of actually looking at hitting the road. And maybe it's because it's not, I love this place. I love America. I'm always a United States citizen, but it's all about health care. Really, it's when you get this age, it's all about health care. And so, I can get by with kind of the different incomes that we make during the different parts of our life, but the health care, we don't have health issues like other people do. Sherry and I, we don't have prescriptions, we don't have anything. We are got to get rid of some of this weight and stuff, and probably could have problems, but we just know that could change any day, and without health care would be terrible, just terrible. So that's why Sherry's working right now is all about the healthcare. So politics, this election come up in November, and what things are going to look like afterwards, whatever. But this is my channel and I can rant a little bit. So there's my ranting. If there's a candidate that ever listens to our show, would you please think about the people that aren't working for employers that have insurance plans, and think about the independent workers, the business owners, the seniors, and make sure that you're not hurting us. And middle class, you're already beating the heck out of them already. Healthcare doesn't need to be one of them too. I mean, besides just trying to keep up with cars and houses, which are way expensive, and healthcare and kids in school and food. Oh my gosh. Anyway, they're getting killed out there in the middle class. So listen to me, folks. Politicians, please listen. Help. A reality check hit me and Sherry just the other day, and it was while we were watching TV. And so I thought I'd do a little section here, just have a little fun with you. about things that make you feel old. And so here's one is, we have Dish Network, and I ran into a Star Trek episodes of the one with Captain Picard. And so I couldn't help but notice the date. You could see the information about the show, and it was one of those every hour is playing another episode. Do you know, it might have started early, but the date of the show with Captain Picard, and it was one of the newer first shows of their series, started in 1987. Yes, it's true, guys. 1987 is when the Enterprise with Captain Picard started, or at least the first year. So maybe plus or minus 1 year, but it doesn't matter. That I would have been 27 years old. So man, so here's another one. Since we now have our new radio show and we've been uploading lots of music to it, this was one of my favorite songs that you hear in the background. And it was done by Walter Egan, I believe his name was, and the backup singers are from Stevie Nicks, and I think it was like his only hit. But you will not believe this. This song came out in, you're sitting down, 1976. Yep, that would have made me 16 years old. Oh my gosh. 1976 this song came out. Anyway, it's still a good song. It is on our radio show, but this one is ought to make you feel kind of old. And my last but not least, I'm going to just do 3 of these. Let's see if you can remember this. Do you remember when the movie Titanic came out? The latest version that all of us just loved and played to death. Anyway, it came out in 1997, which would have made me about 37 years old. So, oh my goodness, it's killing me. I thought maybe I'd do a couple of these on some of the shows in the future of at least 3 things that make us feel old, or just how time has gone by so quickly. So, which brings me back to what are you waiting for? So, maybe this, I'm going to kind of give the theme to this particular show of what are you waiting for, or time passes. But yeah, I don't know what hit me this week, but it's just certain things I've seen. I guess it was just between some shows I've watched and some of this music that we've been dealing with. And I'm thinking, wow, I haven't heard that in a while, and there's a reason, because like some of the music I really loved was came out 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So yeah. Anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. If you guys like it, let me know. We'll do more of those in the future. Anyway, moving on. Last weekend, Sherry and I decided to do a little road trip, and we thought we'd take a ride up to Payson, Arizona. And so we're driving up there, and just about 5 miles out of town, we see this big billboard sign that says, I'm not kidding you, Testicle Festival. Yes, it was Testicle Festival. And Sherry and I were just going up, thought maybe we'd see if we could see any fall colors, which we really didn't see much yet. And we thought we'd go up to the casino up there and have dinner. And it turns out that the Testicle Festival was actually at the casino, and they had like a bunch of booths. And it was also a great place to get Rocky Mountain oysters, which, no, I did not try it. But anyway, I don't know why, I just never imagined I'd ever see a sign, especially a big billboard, say, hey, come on up, man, don't miss out on the Testicle Festival. So anyway, thought it was kind of funny, kind of a simple little thing up. It's a small town, had a lot of booths, and we got stuff for sale and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Testicle Festival, don't miss out. Next time you come down to Arizona, don't miss out in the fall. I guess that's a lot of fun. I guess you'll have a ball. So speaking of the fall, that's one thing I'm definitely missing. You Washingtonians and I guess you'll see it all along the coastline and stuff like that, or going over to Cascade Mountains and stuff. There's nothing more special than fall colors, and I'm sure you see them on the East Coast too. But where we're at, not seeing it, kind of missing it. And so what I really miss is that kind of bitter cold a little bit, where it's not freezing, but it's just cold. You got to wear a coat, and you can smell that sweetness of, I guess it'd be the rotting leaves in a sense, and the colors. I gotta admit, I really, really miss that. So those of you that are in areas that are showing the fall colors, I envy you. I truly miss it. There's nothing more special. That's probably my favorite season is definitely fall. Second would be spring, when the new flowers are popping out, and I really like cherry blossoms. But fall, man, it's just something special about that. And plus, in my day, fall was also hunting season, so it was always fun to get kind of excited about hunting and getting up in the mountains. It's kind of cold and chilly, and the colors are pretty, and the ducks are flying south, and the geese are flying south, and anyway, it's just a good time of year. So for those of you, once again, that get the fall colors or enjoying fall the way I'm describing, I truly envy you a lot, and I hope it's a great fall for you. Now, for us that are in Arizona, this is the fun part of Arizona for the next, maybe 8 months, 7 months. We get into summer-like, spring-like weather, and so this is what we've been waiting for. So you guys all make fun of us of, I couldn't handle those hot temperatures in the summer. Yeah, you're right. It's pretty nasty. But now, I don't think we're breaking 100 anymore. We're still hitting the 90s occasionally, but it's starting to cool down, and this is why this is so nice down here, and why so many snowbirds come down south. It's just, in fact, I cannot tell you right now where my jacket is. I haven't worn a jacket in so long. I literally do not know where they're at. Now, we did put 2 light jackets in the boat, and yet we haven't wore those yet either. But I just got to thinking, is like, when's the last time I had a coat on? Now, for those of you that aren't used to warm weather and don't like the warm weather, I gotta admit that I do miss 2 things. One is when you lived in Washington, Oregon, you layered up and you always had a jacket on, and I miss those pockets in my little zip-up jackets. I really miss a jacket. I don't know. Something's it's like a blanket. A good jacket is like a good fluffy blanket, and so I do miss wearing a jacket. I don't know why you would say that's silly, but no, I do. I do miss the it being cool. And so when I did go up to Washington and when we bought the boat and drove it down, there was a few days that kind of reminded me that, it's just a little bit chilly, compared to Arizona. And it's like really gave me a warm and fuzzy feeling. So yeah, I do miss the weather. But I don't know, I got 7 months of summer-like weather now. So now you can envy us instead of going, you never get me to come down here. But now we get to enjoy what Arizona is all about. Of course, the other thing is kind of interesting is, as all you folks up north, you've had your festivals, and all of us are probably having Oktoberfest things going on. But for Arizona, this is when we just start firing up stuff like testicle festivals. And along with that, we got our state fairs going on in Arizona. It goes on for a month. And it's actually kind of still warm for that, but in a couple more weeks, that'll be cooling down a lot. And Renaissance Festival down here is really awesome. It's a gigantic place. And so we actually start seeing all of the festivals and all the different occasions happening this time of year, because it's just getting down to a temperature where people can come outside and not be overheated. So yeah, it's just everything's kind of the opposite down here. So it's kind of hard to get used to. But yeah, this is the time to come down. This is when Arizona kind of turns on the light switch and says, all right, let's start partying. I definitely have two warnings for you if you're coming down here to stay for a few months. Is the heat down here will do two things to your car that you really got to pay attention to. One is if you have weak batteries. I don't know what it is about hot weather, but it'll drain and kill. If you got a weak battery, it's going to kill it. So don't be surprised. It's happened to me twice now where I've had batteries in my truck for years and years and years. And as soon as I got down to Arizona, because of the heat, just killed them. The other thing is your tires. You wouldn't think that it'd be so hard on tires, but if you got kind of cheap tires or your tires are down a little bit, this place will take them the rest of the way. It's hard on tires down here, and I think it's from the heat also. So be prepared if you don't have good batteries in your car or have good tires in your car. Either get them taken care of before you come down, or as soon as you get down here, see if you can find a hot deal on a set of tires and batteries. So anyway, it's going to happen. That's just how it is down here in Arizona. Yeah, and I kind of wanted to talk about something that, every once in a while, maybe it's our age and stuff, but occasionally Sherry and I will go, since we're kind of stuck living like this, sometimes you kind of miss having a house again. And I found out how to cure that really quick. So we're down here, and I've been meeting a lot of snowbirds and a lot of part-time folks, and I just met a couple next door that had a farm over in Missouri. They raise a few cattle. I used to have a farm at Gay Birds. I used to raise pheasants and checker. And so we're just sitting down, enjoying each other, talking about stories about our critters and things like that, and tractors and all that. And by the way, I used to have a 51 Ford Jubilee tractor, if anybody's interested about tractors. Anyway, that makes for a great conversation. So, occasionally it's like, I'd love to have, let Cinder have her own yard again and let her run free once in a while and things like that. It was something, and you miss a fireplace sometimes and a bathtub and a full-size bathrooms. And occasionally you kind of like, it'd be kind of nice to be able to park everything in your own yard and the whole things. And so just sometimes to satisfy that, you go, well, maybe I should look at property up at Central Oregon or something, or a house. And all you have to do is get on Zillow and start looking at the prices of houses and stuff. I don't care where you're looking. I looked in Arizona. I looked in Central Oregon. I looked up in Anacortes area in Washington that we enjoy, Sequim, Washington. Oh my gosh. Now I know why I'm in an RV. Is if you buy a house, it's like putting an anchor in the ground big time. And the numbers are really jumped up. And my heart bleeds for young couples trying to make it, trying to get a house and have a place for their kids and good schools and commuting every day. Wow. And no, I'm not pushing alternative living. I think that's good for kids and families to go for that American dream. I'm still old-fashioned that way, to find alternative living. If it happens for you, great. But majority of folks, cracking down, try to get your degree if you can, or learn a really good skill. I mean, there's not enough electricians and welders and mechanics out there, especially diesel mechanics, good ones. Anyway, if you can build that foundation, then to do what me and Sherry are doing now would be a lot easier, because you'll have those skills that makes you versatile to be able to go anywhere and do anything you want. All right, enough preaching on that. But like I said, if you ever start getting you're full-timing like us, and you start feeling that little itch about maybe just settling down and say, maybe this isn't the way to go, or maybe we'd like to just sit on a rocking chair on a porch, just get on Zillow. That'll cure your problem really quick, and then realize how nice your rig is and what a fraction of overhead you have because you're an RVer full-timing. And you give up a few things, but if you went to a mortgage and a house again, you'll give up a lot of things too, like less toys, less extra cash. So anyway, if you ever have the same kind of feelings going through your head, there you go, Zillow.com. That'll take care of you. Hey, we're getting down to the end of the show. I'd like to remind you to contact us when you get a chance. Just go to rvtalkradio.com, go to the contact page, give us a holler, send us a note. If you'd like to be on the show someday, give us a holler. We don't mind you letting us know you're out there. We can't watch all the channels and all the different blogs, so give us a holler. You can also use my email, which is rob, R-O-B, at rvtalkradio.com. You can also go to our Facebook pages at RV Talk Radio and also RV Travel Buddy. You can contact us that way. Please feel free to leave comments in the lower section of the podcast or the video that you're watching. Anyway, we'd love to hear from you. Don't forget that you can listen to podcasts on your cell phone just like a radio. Just download a free app. The one that we suggest is called Podcast Addict. Just download it free. Then you go to the search tool. Make sure it's searching iTunes. Put RV Talk Radio, and our show will pop right up. You'll be able to see it, and you'll actually be able to probably catch a couple other shows too. Lots of great shows out there. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week, next Monday, for episode 67. And we ask everybody out there to be safe and become an RVer. Thank you for watching our videos. Please take the time to subscribe and consider being a Patreon supporter. There is many more adventures and some big surprises coming in the future with your help. Thanks again.